Good morning. Alright, picture this. You're in the middle of the ocean and you got exactly one anchor. Brilliant idea, right? I mean, it's not like the ocean could possibly change its mind or throw a tantrum. You drop that single anchor and wait for the calm, smooth seas. But surprise, the waves pick up, the wind starts howling, and suddenly you're floating off into the storm like a lost episode of Deadliest Catch. Now, I don't know about you, but I prefer not to bet my entire existence on one flimsy, overworked anchor. Yet, that's what many of us do in life. We throw everything into one dream, one hope, or one plan. And naturally, when that fails, we're left wondering why life suddenly got us a one-way trip to Disappointment Island. And before we dive into deeper in this, if we can dive at all, I want to say thank you for joining me today. And again, enjoying another lovely muddy walk, but still very sunny and with less puddles today. And if you're already thinking, I don't want to end up shipwrecked on that island, then do me a solid. Hit the like button, subscribe and ring that bell. You don't want to miss out on more fun ways to make your life a little less catastrophic, do you now? Now, back to business. Yes, if all that sounds familiar, you'll love the quote I've got for today. It's from that ancient Greek philosopher Epictetus, and it's one for the ages. The ship shouldn't ride on a single anchor, nor life a single hope. Let's break that down, shall we? And yes, we're going to have some fun while we do it, because there's one thing you can always rely on. It's that life is unpredictable. If you're not ready for the storm, you're going to wish you had a backup plan. Or better yet, a backup anchor. Let me clarify and try and clear my throat. This isn't just about nautical wisdom. Epictetus wasn't out there giving his tips on how to avoid sinking your boat. He was talking about life, about relying on multiple hopes, dreams and anchors to keep you steady when things get rough. Because let's face it, life's one big unpredictable storm. And the last thing you want is to be caught up with just one anchor or one hope holding you together. You've probably heard people say, I just want to find the one perfect job, the perfect relationship, the perfect, do you know what, perfect anything. They toss all their emotional chips into one basket. And when that basket inevitably crashes, they're left holding the broken eggs of their shattered expectations. It's not a pretty sight, is it? I can hear horses running around. So, the moral of the story, don't hinge your happiness on one thing, one hope. It's like a single crumbling cookie. If that cookie breaks, there's no backup plan. And frankly, who wants to live where everything revolves around the fragile crumbs of one hope? Let me give you a little real world example, because nothing gets the point across like self-sabotage, right? A few years ago, I met a guy who, much like the overconfident captain of that single anchored ship, decided he was going to make it big in the tech world. He poured his entire life savings into a groundbreaking startup. Now, I'm not here to say that startups are bad. They're not a bad idea. No. That would be too practical, wouldn't it? But his plan, it had one tinsy-wincy little problem. There was only one plan. When things inevitably went sideways, because let's face it, most tech startups end up crashing and burning like a flaming laptop. Yeah, he had nothing else, absolutely nothing else to fall back on. He had no other skills, no other interests. It's just a very expensive, very disappointing pile of tech debt. He was living on a single hope, that one brilliant idea. And when that fell apart, so did his entire sense of well-being and sense of self-worth. It was like watching a man slowly realize he'd staked his entire life, his entire future, on a house made of cards that he decided to build in a wind tunnel. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he should have ditched the startup. What I am saying is that he should have had multiple anchors, really. Maybe worked on his coding skills, maybe taking up painting, maybe developed a hobby that didn't involve losing every single penny he had ever saved. But no, he knew better. He just had that one hope and it failed him. So, how do we avoid this spectacular Titanic level disaster of life? We diversify. We stop putting all our eggs in one basket. Or shall we stick to the metaphor? We start investing in multiple anchors. You've got to spread your hopes, your skills, your goals, so that when that one thing goes south, you've still got something else to hold on to. And hey, here comes the ASKfirmations. I'll be making a quick 1-minute video later with these, so you can really absorb them. Grab a pen, jot these down, and let's see if we can stop you from ending up shipwrecked. First, what else can I focus on right now that might open up new opportunities? Because if you're all in on one dream, you're basically putting a blindfold on yourself and walking into traffic. There are other roads to success, you know. 2. How can I start developing other skills that could serve me in the future? I know. You're already professional in your field, but learning to juggle or maybe understanding how to cook without burning everything could add value to your life in unexpected ways. 3. What new passions can I start pursuing to diversify my sources of joy? Because honestly, if your entire sense of happiness depends on one thing, you've already failed. You're one audition away from being a midlife crisis. 4. Am I giving myself room to fail, knowing that it's just a detour to something better? Failure isn't a funeral. It's a surprise party for your next great adventure. Trust me, if Steve Jobs had given up after being fired from Apple, we'd all still be lugging around giant beige computers. 5. How can I use today to start creating more stability in my life, just in case the storm hits? Life's a bit like Hunger Games, isn't it? Sometimes you've got to think ahead and have multiple tools ready for when things get chaotic. 6. The final one. What other sources of hope can I cultivate right now so I don't end up relying on just one? There's no shame in stacking up your hopes like a hoarder stacks up newspapers. The more you have, the better your odds. Alright, my fellow adventurers, as I traverse this lovely muddy path into what's going to be even more mud. Don't be the person who anchors their entire life on just one hope. Life's a stormy sea, and when the waves come crashing down, you want a fleet of anchors, not just a rusty old chain you picked up at the bargain store. Diversify your hopes, diversify your skills, and for the love of all that's good, diversify your backup plans. So if you want to stop floating aimlessly in life, give this video a like, subscribe for more solid advice and some occasional sarcasm, and drop me a comment about what your extra anchors are. Don't leave your ship to risk. Throw a few more hopes and trust that Epictetus had it right. Life shouldn't rely on a single anchor or a single hope. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you don't have a backup plan, you might end up washed up on the shores of regret. But hey, it's all part of the journey, right? Love you guys. Take care.